It's never worked.
It's mind-boggling that more and more Democrats are embracing socialism.
It's actually a breach of our oath to our Constitution.
And the less free and less prosperous future.
So, Mr. President, like any good socialist plan, socialism.
I'm not a socialist.
Socialism. You almost deserve the pestilence that happens to you if you go into that willingly, going, okay, they're a bunch of crazy socialists, let's go there.
What's up, everybody? Major Retired Richard Ojeda here, and Dark Brandon continues to rise as he calls out hypocritical Republicans for criticizing his infrastructure plan while secretly asking for funding behind the scenes.
What I've found is people, when they start talking about things like global warming, they typically use that as a pretext to do a bunch of left-wing things that they would want to do anyways. And so we're not doing any left-wing stuff.
Republicans call Biden infrastructure program socialism, and then they ask for the money.
What stands out about all of this is that we are finally seeing someone call out the lies of the Republican Party. We have a president that is taking the time to make sure the American people know that when they say something, they typically don't mean it.
A guy named Paul Gosar, he's written 3 separate letters to the administration asking for projects in his district. He says it enhance the quality of life, that ease congestion, boost the economy. Voted against it, says it's all socialism.
A lot of this has surfaced over the last few weeks as Ron DeSantis publicly called out Biden for his new laws targeting the suffering of everyday Americans, but he warmed up to him real quick when Biden put the pettiness aside and delivered federal aid to the people of Florida.
Kentucky Representative Andy Barr, the biggest socialist agenda. 3 different projects he wants, citing the importance of the safety and growth of his district. Rand Paul, I go down the list, look it up. Socialism. I didn't know there were that many socialist Republicans.
Now that versus the Trump administration and their ruthless attacks on states and countries and actually rejecting their pleas for aid, like when California was devastated by wildfires in 2020, he also had a nasty habit of calling other countries by not so kind words while they were dependent on us for humanitarian aid as well. Biden is taking the correct approach here. We should be calling out hypocrisy when it happens, but we should also make sure that people in this nation do not suffer because their governors are egotistical morons. Not everyone in Florida voted for DeSantis, and even the ones that did do not deserve to suffer at the hands of political catfighting. We're talking about people's lives, and Biden understands the severity of these natural disasters. His administration also seems to understand the real concerns of climate change and trying to do something about it. But Republican governors like DeSantis have publicly stated that addressing climate change is liberal or radical, seeming to not understand that his state will be the subject to some of the worst events due to climate change. And this will continue in this cycle as long as the GOP clings to the patterns of Donald Trump, that anything proposed by a Democrat is extreme or socialist, and then will call the White House to ask for favors out of the public light. But if we can count on Dark Brandon to continue to keep up with the pettiness and calling out that nonsense, then I believe we may have some footing in this fight. Real leadership takes on the concerns of those that have trusted you to lead. And right now, Biden's doing just that, while also taking no bull, and that's a fact. Sappers clear the way, airborne all the way.